Hey guys. We're going to continue the interview on my account, but because we lost connection or timed out or something. But that's okay because I got a pizza break. So we will wait for... Oh, no, there she is. Let's see. Request? How does this work? Oh. I think it's out of here. Okay, sweet.
Hey,
Hi.
enjoy that pizza.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's a pizza break. Like, I didn't mind that we timed out because pizza, right?
I know, right?
Oh.
So while you're eating your pizza, what we can do is my part of the video, if it's saved, I've never timed out before because normally I can tell it to save it.
Yeah.
And then I post it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So I'll see if that worked. If not, my niece, my brilliant niece in Germany, found out another way to be able to save an IG live video and post it. It's not quite as good quality, but it still works.
Okay.
So,
cool.
So that way
I'll save this one and then I'll email it to you or something.
Yeah. Well, when at the end, have you started a live before?
I have.
Yeah, so on the top left, you hit that button that says save it to your camera roll.
Yeah.
I didn't get to do that, but all right, so basically we were at the point where you were about to tell mom and dad that you weren't engaged, you weren't pregnant, you weren't dropping out of school, but
I started riding dirt bikes.
And how'd that go over?
So I think my parents were really shocked when I told them that I was going to ride again. My mom was not okay with it. I mean, understandably,
I'm sure.
And my dad said, well, knowing you, I know that you're determined and you're going to do this if you want to do it. You're older than 18. You're an adult. I can't really tell you no.
Right.
And so for the first 6 months to a year, my parents were like, okay, yeah, you're riding, but we're not going to support you. We're not going to tell you it's okay. We don't think it's a good idea. You literally have one arm and you're deciding to ride a dirt bike. So, but after my dad, came to the track a few times with me, he was like, okay, I see you, really happy. I want to support you the best way that I can. Even though I don't necessarily agree with you riding again, I think it's very dangerous because if I break my good arm, I'm screwed.
Right.
Or if I get severely hurt again, I'm screwed. So my dad basically supported me by saying, I'll help you pay for half of a 150 because I don't think it's smart for you to ride on a pit bike on big tracks with other big bikes. And I was like, yeah, I completely agree. Okay. And so he helped me get my 150. He started getting me really expensive gear. So all of my helmets were 60. And they're the top of the line 60.
Yeah.
So he would that's how he supported me, is that he helped me out with gear and making sure that I was safe. Because he said, if you're going to do this, I don't want, and let's say you get hurt again, I don't want to look back and be like, oh, how could I have helped prevent it? Because I know you're going to do this anyways. And in motocross, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to get hurt.
Totally.
So yeah, he just wanted to make sure he was supporting me in that way and making sure that I had the best gear. I was protected, so yeah.
On a side note, my dad was always of the mindset that it was okay to race cross country. Motocross is where you always got hurt. And so I qualified for Loretta Lynn's with my good friend Dee Wood while my mom and dad were out of town. And my mom knew I was doing it. And my dad was so angry when they got home and I told him I qualified and I was going to Loretta's. And one of his comments was, well, you did it to spite me. And I said, no. I said, Dad, I am about to graduate college and I'm going into the workforce. I was going to be a coach and a teacher. I said, I may never, ever get this chance again. And you know what? I never did have the chance again. And I went. So the irony of all of it despite all of his protests, so we got back from Loretta's, I don't know, I got back to our house at, it was like midnight, something like that. You know, we drove straight through from Tennessee. Yeah. And in the yard, on the trees, and on the front door, I had finished 18th. Mm-hmm. And so he made all these little posters, AMA National Number 18, and posted them all over. So yeah, Mr. I don't want you to do it. He was still proud.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So that got you back in the groove, and you got the CR 150R, right? The CRF. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
So who's your mechanic? That's
me.
Awesome. No, I like
and my
it.
Dad.
Yeah.
My dad helped with my recluse because the very last metal that sat in the bottom of the basket did not want to come up. And yeah, my dad also helped me like put in my steering stabilizer and stuff. And I don't know, like my dad has just always taught me like how to work on, you know, classic cars and dirt bikes and the whole shebang. And I always enjoyed it because I got to, like, number one, bond with my dad. Number two, I got to learn really cool things that I was really genuinely interested in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I pretty much rigged it up, and then my dad just kind of like helped out with the things that I really needed help with. So, yeah.
Well, you know, I've always been of the mindset that if you're going to race, you need to know how your machine operates, how it functions. Because I didn't ever want to come back from practice or a race and be like, I don't know, it's just not, doesn't sound right. I didn't want to be that girl. So I learned as well. But no, I think it's important that you work on your own bike.
It's definitely important. And I noticed too that whenever like something was wrong with my bike and I was able to identify it like at the track, I got so much more respect from the men. Yeah. Because I was actually able to understand the motor and like what was wrong with my bike. Right. Rather than being like, like, what do you think is this? Or what do you think is that? And like, yeah, it's really cool because, like I said, you get a lot of respect from men too, and that's a real big thing in the sport is that being a girl, like you want to be respected by the men as like an equal fellow racer, not as, oh, you're a girl, I don't expect you to know anything about dirt bikes or motors. Yeah, especially with the older guys because they grew up in the generation where women were not like praised or even okay being around motors. So, like, even till this day, like, I'll sit and, like, talk with, like, an older guy, and he'll have, like, a classic car shirt or something, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's like a 66 Chevelle, right? Is that an SX? Like, does it have a big block? And we start talking about cars, and he'll look at me and be like, you know what that is? I'm like, do I know? I know. It's like, Daddy didn't raise no fool.
I can't remember. The other day, somebody was like, well, okay, so if somebody gave you a Lamborghini, because I was talking about I didn't like pink. He said, if somebody gave you a brand new pink Lamborghini for free, would you take it? And I said, no. And he looked at me, really? I said, yeah, really. I said, what's the point of having a Lamborghini or a Ferrari? And I said, besides, now, if you throw a Mopar my way, yeah, I'll take that sucker and then repaint it. But he looked at me and I said, yeah, get you a Mopar. And he was like, oh, you're talking all motors? I don't know anything. So, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
So when did you get back into racing?
I got back into racing. So, basically, once I got my 150, I started going to all the tracks with, like, all my friends and stuff. And, like I said, I was dating a different dude at the time. He was also pro. And he was always going to races. And I was like, okay, well, I'm back on the bike. And I really want to race. Like, I want a gate drop. But I remember telling my dad that our agreement about me riding again was that I wasn't going to race. And once again, I kind of did what I wanted. And I went to my first race. I think it was like 2014, 2015. It was at Village Creek. It was a night race. Yeah. And I got out there, I was on the starting gate, and I was so nervous. I literally peed my pants because I was so nervous. I literally peed a little bit. And
it happens.
I know. And so I was out there, I was on the gate, and just like my adrenaline started coming, and then I was like the butterflies hit where like your stomach drops and like you can't
Mm-hmm.
breathe for a minute and you're just like you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
man, it's that moment.
yeah, and so right when I was back on that gate drop, I was like, I can never walk away from this. Like I can't get away from this sport. Like I will do this until I'm 80, like until I'm in my grave. Like
There you go.
and so whenever I did it, that night I texted my dad. I was like, hey, just so you know, again, you'll probably see this on Facebook, but I just want to let you know that I'm racing again. I will fund myself like I have been. If you want to support myself, like support me, that's great. If not, I completely understand. But honestly,
Yeah.
like I'm going to do this. Like this is a choice I'm making. And so from that point, my dad came to like a few of my races. My mom only went to like maybe one or two, but she was still never really on board with it. And I was so passionate about racing again that I actually got my dad back into racing. So my dad started racing again. He got a 450, and my dad's like one of those really cool dads where if he does something, he goes all out. So he had like custom gear and like the most expensive and like the top of the line 60 helmet. He even had like an extra cooling system in his bike that was titanium, so it was like all rainbow colored and stuff.
Yeah.
And I looked at my dad and I was like, you don't get out of like second or third gear. Like, why do you need that? And he's like, because it looks really cool. I was like,
I love it.
It looks cool if you're going fast though. And so but yeah, that was my dad. But then unfortunately he had a really bad accident about 2-3 years ago where he broke his back. And he was paralyzed from the waist down for a little bit. And so he's not able to ride anymore. He's like, he was like, I know I said this before, but I'm legitimately done with dirt bikes. If I crash even just the slightest like right way, I'll be permanently damaged. And so he walked away from riding because he literally physically had to.
Yeah.
Which really sucks because he like for 2 years leading up to that, he was my riding buddy. Like we would go riding all the time. And low key, I liked riding with him because he would pay for my racing because he was doing it too. So I didn't have to pay for racing and stuff. But yeah, when he broke his back, I just I remember I was in Colorado. I was on the mountain because that's when I started training for snowboarding. And I got a phone call from one of our friends. I was out there with them that said, hey, like your dad, he can't move anything. Like he broke his back. It's really bad. And my dad got on the phone and he was just bawling his eyes out and saying like, you know, I can't move or feel my lower half of my body. And I just sat there and I started crying and I got off the phone and all these things started like rushing in. I was like, will I be able to snowboard with my dad again? Will I be able to like ride dirt bikes again with him? Was last month like the last time I was going to be able to see him walk because I didn't see him for like a month. And so like all these things started coming and it was really overwhelming and really shattered me. But you know, he's doing a lot better. He recovered better than they expected, and he's walking and everything.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so everything's fine. He literally can't do anything extreme wise. The only thing that he can really do is wake surfing, but even that he has to take it really steady because even if he falls on that part of his back, even just like the slightest wrong way, like he's screwed. So he plays it safe as much as possible. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, and that happens, especially, I mean, it can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter how long you have or haven't been riding, much less racing, you know.
Yeah.
And we all eventually get faced with that choice. I'm just trying to put it off as long as possible. So,
yeah.
What got you through all of this? I know you had to be scared at times, you know, especially when you're in high school and college, and then when you get back on the bike. And how do you? Because people are going to want to know, how do you deal with the fear? You know, how do you deal?
So basically, what I do is I look at what I have rather than what I don't. I look at the fact that I still have an arm. I still have 2 legs. I still have a brain that works well most of the time. So I look at what I have rather than what I don't, and I use that. And just trying to like, I mean, I won't lie to anybody. Like there are days where it gets really, really rough. Like a lot of things that people don't know is I deal with constant neuropathy pain. So
Mm-hmm.
24/7, I feel like I'm constantly being electrocuted with like throbbing and bee stings and twisting.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's many nights where like I'll be screaming in my pillow because I'm in so much pain. And doctors say that this type of pain is like unearthly.
Yeah.
It's a pain that the doctors can't even really describe, because since my nerves were avulsed, they were ripped out, they weren't
Mm-hmm.
stretched. They said it's the most severe pain that a person can go through. And so that's why like a lot of vets, whenever they experience neuropathy pain, that's why a lot of them commit suicide, because once they hear that they're going to have to deal with it for the rest of their lives, they can't handle it.
Yeah.
Because it's so severe. And because I've had it for over half my life now, it's gotten to the point where it puts me into neurological seizures almost. It's not necessarily a seizure, but it's where the pain gets so bad, my body literally goes into a neurological shock
Mm-hmm.
where I am completely immobile and I will black out because the pain is so severe.
Yeah.
And that just started happening the beginning of 2019, so last year. So I've been dealing with it for like a year, and it's happened about 4 times now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I had to get my dog Harley. He's a service dog.
Okay.
But just so that if anything was to happen, like I have a dog or like somebody there with me that he's getting trained and everything, to where if something happens, like he goes and like barks and like makes
Yeah.
a scene and tries to get people to notice that something's wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think just like you just like, it's not even really necessarily a choice that I had to make. It was more just of, this is my life and I have to
Mm-hmm.
figure out a way to deal with it.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm not even gonna say some days, but most days it's just going with emotions of, this is my life, I have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to do it for me. And it's either I deal with it head on and be strong about it, or I sit in my bed and just cry and be like, this sucks, my life sucks. And that's not the way that I want to live my life.
Yeah.
Because I want to enjoy snowboarding and riding my dirt bike and hanging out with friends and doing typical 25-year-old stuff.
Right.
So it's a choice. It's not, I mean, it's between a choice and kind of a choice of like, I have to, like forcing myself to, because I can't just have my arm back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And for people who haven't had nerve pain, because I have a broken vertebra in my lower back and a sitting disc in my neck.
Yeah.
So I don't experience the pain you do, but I do experience it. Painkillers don't do anything for nerve pain. Sometimes they might take the edge off, but in your case, I bet they don't even take the edge off anymore.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
On like the nights where it's really bad, I know like my dosage for like melatonin, like I have melatonin gummies. I know my dosage is like 2 melatonins. Sometimes I'll take like 2.5.
Yeah.
Or 3, just to make sure that I can sleep. Because if I can sleep, my pain will it'll go away. Because I mean, since what you said, you know this, it comes and goes when it pleases.
Yeah.
So you don't know if it's gonna last 5 minutes or if it's gonna last for 4 hours. Like you have no idea. And it's even worse when I'm sick and when I'm stressed. Because the doctor said that your body goes into like a natural sympathetic mode. So your nerves will work overtime to try and overcompensate for whatever your body is fighting. And so like this past week, I was in Idaho and I was at a snowboarding competition and I got a cold. It was such a minor cold,
right.
But I had the cold and then my nerve pain was through the roof. So bad to where I had to isolate myself from the team and go to my hotel room, and I had a roommate. I had to go in the bathroom and I'm like, hey, just, you know, like I'm fine. This is what I go through all the time, but I have to go scream in my pillow for like an hour. And so I went and I sat in the bathroom floor and I screamed in my pillow for an hour. And it like, for people, especially like if I'm dating somebody, people aren't used to that, you know?
No. Yeah. And
so,
then you're like, dude, this is normal. Really, I'm not crazy, and it's okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah. So like I always had to tell people, like, you know, like it's totally, I have to just be like, you know, this is normal, and it sucks that that's my normal, but you know, there's pros and cons to life, and I've had a lot of really
Yeah.
good pros. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess I got to deal with nerve pain.
Yeah. Well, you know, we
Yeah.
all have a different normal,
Yeah.
whatever. Because, you know, I have a slow thyroid, so there are times after I race, I have to go lay down and sleep for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, that's part of my normal. And then people are like, "You okay?" Yeah, just let me sleep. I'll be good in a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, but and it's kind of connects to somewhere where I put adapting and overcoming, and you've
Yeah.
adapted, and but I agree with your choice. You know, you
Yeah.
can curl up in a ball
Mm-hmm.
and make that your life, or you can get up and face your life as it is and figure out a way to live. You know,
Yeah.
that's life.
There's this yeah, and there's this one quote that I absolutely love, and it says, "The same boiling water that hardens the egg softens the potato."
Mm-hmm.
And it says it's all about what you're made out of.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not about circumstances, it's about what you're made out of. And that's such a powerful quote for me, because it's so true. Like, you can get thrown into anything, but it all depends on what that person is made out of, on if they're gonna be able to deal with it, survive it,
Mm-hmm.
mentally go through it. And so I think that's like another thing is it really is just like about what you're made out of. And you have
Yeah.
to be made out of strength, and understanding that things happen for a reason. Things don't happen just because they happen. Like, if I, like, for instance, if I didn't get into motocross, I wouldn't have broke my neck. If I didn't break
Mm-hmm.
my neck, I wouldn't have gotten back on the bike. If I didn't get back on the bike, I wouldn't be chasing the Paralympics, which only like, what, like
Mm-hmm.
0.002% per like people get to do their entire lifetime. So
Yeah.
it's crazy when I look back at like all the events that have led up to like where I'm at now. And it's crazy because if I didn't have my willpower and my determination and be like, this is what I want to do, I don't care what anyone says about it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing all these things that, like I said, so very few of the people in the world get to even achieve. Like,
Yeah.
obviously my goal is to make the games, but even if I don't podium, or even if I don't do that well, just the fact that I got to go to the games,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Definitely.
so enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just having that experience, because not a lot of people get to experience that,
Oh yeah.
you know.
And
So yeah.
um so 2019 was man, it was busy for you last year. Just looking through your Instagram and stuff, you were doing quite a bit. I saw where you spoke at an event. You know, you were competing, doing a lot of stuff, Makeup to Mud and all that. What were the highlights of 2019 for you?
Yeah. Well, just real quick before I get to that, I just wanna, like, I'm seeing the comments just a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to ask everybody on here, there are kids watching this. Please don't have cuss
Yeah.
words. If you're going to be immature and throw cuss words out, just get off. Like, I love you, but I don't even want you commenting or watching if you're going to throw cuss words out. There's kids on here. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, be respectful. But back to the 2019 highlights. I don't know. 2019 was such a fun year. I really loved Makeup to Mud because I love meeting other women that are
Mm-hmm.
into racing. That was such a big thing for me because I'm so used to being always in these action sports where it's so male dominated, and where
Yeah.
I'm isolated, not
Mm-hmm.
intentionally, but isolated because, you know, men are going to bond together, and that's so great.
Yeah.
But I like, lots of times I'm not looked at as one of the guys. Like, I'm just like, oh, she's a girl that's like snowboarding or motocross or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, having the opportunity of getting that community of women together and riding and doing something that we all love, which is riding a
It was
bike,
fun.
was so
Yeah.
much fun. It was awesome. Like, being able to have girl talk while also working on, like, you know, our chain, or like filling up gas, or changing
Yeah.
out spark plug or something. Like, it was so awesome. So that was definitely a highlight. And then, per usual, you know, going to Hawaii. I love going to Hawaii to go surf. X Games was so fun. I've never been to X Games before, and
That's pretty cool.
yeah, my good friend Jack Matroni like was like, hey, like you need to come to X Games. He shot me tickets, and I was like, oh, sweet. So there was so many good things about 2019. It's really hard to like pick out a top. But yeah, so many good things.
So we're through January, and I know you've already competed in one adaptive snowboard event. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And you got second?
I did. I got second. Yeah.
But geez, what are you gonna do for the rest of 2020? I mean, you got.
So that was just kind of like it was a big but also kind of like small competition. So I have Dew Tour this week. So at Copper Mountain. So I will be doing Dew Tour. Registered today. I'm really excited. It's like the funnest competition of the whole year. And yeah, so Dew Tour, and then in a few weeks I go to Spain. Then from Spain I go to Norway for a World Cup.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I come back for a little bit, and then I think I go to Hawaii for a surfing thing. There's a lot of things going on. But snowboarding wise that's kind of the gist of it. And then I have nationals too whenever I get back from Norway. So okay. I kind of have 3-4 really big competitions coming up. So yeah, I'm just really excited about Dew Tour though, because Dew Tour is the funnest week. Mm-hmm. There's no like World Cup points or anything like that. But yeah.
When you're at the Dew Tour and some of these others, we'll see. I don't know if you ever watch any of my stuff, but when we're racing, mm-hmm. I usually do short video updates that I'll post on my Instagram page. I don't do lives because we don't always have signal. Yeah. But, after practice, I'll let people know, this is how practice went, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to do some video updates for us so we can kind of keep up with you and see how things are going?
Yeah, I will be doing video updates that I'll be posting to my story. Cool. And then I'm actually going to be starting my YouTube channel pretty religiously now. Yeah. I've been like drafting a lot of like video content and stuff, but I think Dew Tour is going to be the first one that I actually videograph and kind of do like a vlog of. Nice. So, like going in and just like, doing the athlete lounge, showing what like the athlete lounge looks like and like VIP and everything else. So
no, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got what's planned for this year. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I have no idea. I have no idea. If you asked me 3 years ago where you see yourself in 5 years, I never thought that I would actually legitimately move to Colorado. Mm-hmm. And that I would be chasing the Paralympics and competing in Dew Tour and doing all these really cool things and traveling the world snowboarding. So I have no idea.
I like it. No. That's cool.
I can tell you one thing I'll be doing in 5 years. Action sports.
Action sports. Well, yeah. My mom was still riding a dirt bike. We don't say racing because she went slow. She rode during races, but she was so slow. She rode till she was 61.
Oh, wow.
So my goal right now is to ride till I'm 65. And then I say 70, maybe, just somewhere-ish, 75. Mm-hmm. And I've got my digression of motorcycles already picked out. Yeah. So I'm on my 125 right now. So I figure I'll get on a CRF 150, but not the R. But I'll make sure they have a button because it's shorter than my 125. Then I'll probably go down to like a CRF a 100. And then I'm sure from there I'll end up on like a PW with training wheels. And so that way, all I got to do is, waddle over it and plop my butt down, and then I can keep riding. But wow, this has been awesome. I was just gonna take the limiter off in my wheelchair. There you go.
The electric wheelchair, and just turn it like all the way because they have the turtle and then the bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna like scratch out the bunny rabbit, and I'm gonna put a lion. Because it's going to go so fast. I'll put nitrous in that thing.
There you go.
Go crazy.
and then we can put wheelie bars on it, and
Mhm.
you know, we could probably even put some glass packs and get some flames shooting out the back for it.
Absolutely.
That would
I'm gonna
work.
be the Holland Granny. Sure.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let me tell everybody what's going on since we had to split this into two videos.
Yeah.
The first half, our first hour-ish, is on my page, LJ Jackalope 13, and it'll be there for 24 hours on our live button. And then this half will be on Kiana's page.
Yep.
If I can work it out, I'll be posting my half to my YouTube, and I'll post it. The link for my YouTube is in my bio on Instagram here, and then Kiana, we'll figure out a way to post your half as well, or I'll just give you my login and let you post your half on my YouTube. I don't think you're gonna hack me and do strange things, are you? But y'all, thanks for sticking with us tonight. This has been awesome. I really enjoyed talking with you, Kiana. And
Thank you.
man, I'm proud of you, but I'm excited to see where you're going to go and everything you're going to get to do, and lots of luck. And we didn't even get to talk about your face plant that landed you in the ER. We'll have to do that next time.
Yeah, next time. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, thank you very much, y'all. Thanks for sticking with us. You know what? Any day we get to ride, whether it's 2 wheels, 4 wheels, a board, whatever, it's a good day, y'all. So live to ride another day, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Yep.
Thanks, Kiana.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.